Okay, now I think now would be a good time for us to do the UV map that we talked about. So the UV map is an essential process for texturing clothing with real world materials. So we need to cut this into a flat plane. For now you can see that it is in 3D mode. We need to cut it into a flat plane. Just think of a piece of paper, and you can see piece of paper, as you know, is flat. So that is how we want this clothes. Or just imagine, just in your memory, that you have a scissors. So with the scissors, that you cut this from here all the way down to this area, and then you spread it and it becomes flat. So when it becomes flat and then we place the texture on it, it is going to appear on these 3D clothes that we have here, and we'll be able to display accurately on the 3D shirts. Okay, so I think you will understand this more by the time we go through the process. So now let's just start with the cutting of seams for the clothes. So we'll cut out some seam areas where we would actually be cutting the clothes through. So to do that, let's go to the edit mode. And now, looking at this, first thing you need to imagine is, just imagine if you want to cut this to be like a flat silk, or a flat fabric, or a flat material, flat cotton, in any mode that you just want to have this thing flat. From where would you cut for this to be flat? Now in my head, I think I will start from here. Okay, I'll start from here all the way up, all the way to this place. I'll cut this place out like a scissors that will just cut. Let me just bring up my, let me show you guys. Okay, so what I will do, I'll start by cutting from here. Okay, I'll cut here and then I'll come here all the way down to this hand area, and I'll cut, and then I'm gonna stop here. Okay, then once I'm done cutting there, I'm going to also come over here and cut the same all the way here. But in this case, I'm gonna continue and cut from the all the way here all the way to the top like this, and then I'm gonna cut this collar area off on its own. So I'm gonna cut this to this area, and then, so remember, now this area is flat. Okay, so when we cut and reach to this area, the cloth is already flat now, because this area is cut off with a scissors. Just imagine, with a scissors you start cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting the clothes all the way to this top area. It is already flat. We don't need to cut here as well. If not, you are going to have two pieces of this cloth. So I hope you get the point of what we want to do. So now let's get back into it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to edge mode, and I'm going to grab these edges. Let's turn off the subdivision for now. I think we're going to apply it pretty soon, but this is one of the reasons why I don't want to apply it too soon, so that we'll be able to see our mesh easily without any discomfort or issues along the line, so we could remove, display, or delete it. So now we're going to select up until this point, and I'm going to continue. Now also notice that I could have selected from here for this cutting of the seam, but I didn't select the front loops. I selected the back loop. The reason is because we don't want to cut this in an area that is most visible to our viewers, or in an area that is too exposed that people start to notice the seam area on our shirts. So now that is why you need to choose somewhere that you feel that is less obvious, that is less exposed on your objects. So in this case, I think this area is the most perfect place that I can think of in terms of choosing my seam cutting side. So I'm gonna choose this, and I'm gonna choose this as well. As you can see now I've got this. I'm gonna deselect this, and having done this, next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna press the U key. Okay, so just press the letter U on your keyboard and this menu will pop up. Now what we are most interested in is the option that says mark seam. So we're now going to select this mark seam. Now you can see this edges has changed in color, indicating that this is a seam area for this clothes. Now let's move to the other side of the clothes and start marking seam where we are going to cut as well. So I'm going to choose the whole of this area. Okay, then I'm going to continue all the way down like this. Okay, alright, and then I'm going to continue it from, let's say, from this area here. Okay, alright, now notice how I didn't go all the way here. I cut from here. So just imagine if we've cut here with scissors, we've cut here, we've cut here and here. So basically this area is flat now. Okay, it's not stitched together anymore. And then we've cut here. Although we haven't cut this shirt yet, we're just marking the seam where we're gonna cut it. But I'm just trying to give you some kind of a clue on how to choose where to cut your own seams in your own projects, because as you would be making some other models that might be different from this type, but you could always use this as a guide when doing your own models. So now I've chosen this area. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press the U key and I'm going to mark seam. Alright, now next thing we're going to do, we're going to come over to the neck area and separate the collar by separating this area off from the shirt. Now I'm going to press the U key and mark seam. Okay, we mix this area, so let's pick that up and mark seam. Alright, now next thing that I'm going to do, we also need to cut this collar area to be flat. Alright, now of course we've done quite some extruding on this collar, so we will need to figure this out very carefully. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, let me go to the vertex mode. I think I'm starting to notice some. Alright, let's see this. Where could this, let's see, where could I put it? Let me just bring it like so, or rather let's check, see how it looks. This vertex, I'm gonna figure out where it's supposed to be. Anyway, let's see, maybe we could merge it with this one. Okay, that doesn't look good. We could have just space it out space it out a little bit like so. Let's turn this on while moving it around to sort of find a good spot. I think this is a good spot for this. Let's do the same for this as well. Alright, just put this on subdivision and just move the point around till you find somewhere that gives it a much better look. As you know, we didn't extrude up to this area, so that's not an issue actually. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna mark seam over these areas. I'm gonna mark seam here, and I'm going to mark seam here. I'm gonna select these edges as well. Okay. Alright, let me see if we're cutting in the right direction. Alright, so let's press the U key and mark seam. Okay. Alright, so I'm also gonna select this area. I'm gonna select these areas, press the U key and mark seam over here. So we're gonna cut all through these areas. Okay, so we'll cut this off. Just imagine we've cut this off. It is already flat, then we just cut this area just in case we have some area there that the vertex merged. So now these are the areas that we've marked our seam. Now it's time to select all of these. Now I'm going to change this view to UV editor. Now already you can see how our shirt is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press the U key. I'm going to press unwrap. Okay, now we've unwrapped our shirt, and if you followed with the if you followed along with how I've marked my seam, you will probably get you will get a result similar to this. So you can see the hand of our shirt, everything is now flat. You can see the collar area, and now you can see the hand areas there. So now we've got this, you can see it's flat, so the shirt is flat, and you can see that we didn't cut the entire shirt off, which is based because of how we've marked our seam and unwrapped the UVs. So now we have this UV. I think we are okay to move on to the next stage. So now, having done this, we are good to go. So I'm gonna apply this subdivision again, and yeah, so now we've done this. Next thing is to start texturing our character. So now we'll do that in the next lecture. So in the next lecture we'll be ready to go dive into materials, which I believe you will have fun playing around with different materials and the colors. I think the next class will be one of the most fun parts of the course. We have passed through all the difficulties, and having reached to this level, I think it's time for some rewards. So it's time to have some fun, and I hope you join me in the next class as we dive deep into the texturing of these characters, and I hope to see you there. For now, bye bye, see you.